So at this point, we're really only missing one component, and that component is the pick guard, which is pretty much a decorative piece. But then from then on, there will be some other details, but they'll all be just like inlays and things that we're going to put into other components. So we are just about done, people. I'm going to open up this pick guard file that I've created, and I've imported my master model with just the sketches that I'm going to need for this one particular item. And then let's just go to our front plane and start a sketch. And this sketch is just going to be the profile of our pick guard. And in this case, I think it's going to look something a little bit like this. I'm going to take a kind of an arc here, grab my line tool, come straight on down, something like this, perfectly vertical. Come over to where we are just underneath that string a little bit. Come right around here. And then if I want to draw an arc, I can pull out and then come back and mouse over this again. You'll see that I get that little circle icon, and now I'm drawing an arc. Unfortunately, it's going to be a tangent arc though, and if I do it again, then it will come perpendicular. But I don't really want it to be perpendicular or tangent. So unfortunately, I'll have to just do this manually. I'll just create another 3-point arc here. We'll make that concentric with the sound hole. We'll make this also concentric with the sound hole. We're going to make these two curves here tangent. Nice. And then we just decide how thick we want this to be, just kind of by dragging, really. It's just, yeah, I'm just doing this by eye at this point. That looks pretty good. I don't really want for this and this to be co-radial. I kind of want them to be a little bit off. I like the tension, the visual tension that creates. So I'm happy with that. Also, I'm going to need I need a copy of this on the other side, right? So let's convert that into our sketch, and then draw a center line straight down the middle. I can take this guy, and then run my mirror tool to create a mirror image of it. Select both of those, set them to construction geometry. Then I can make this coincident with that. That's pretty good. And I'm not going to bother dimensioning this because like I said, this is really a decorative component. So I'm happy with that look right now. So I'm going to exit the sketch. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. One more thing. Let's edit that sketch again. And I need to bring in a couple more things. Let's do our line. I'm going to close this right up. I'll do another one on this side to close this one up. We'll do a 3-point arc from here to there, and then make these guys co-radial. Perfect. So now we've got a closed shape that we can work with. Now we can go to our Features tab and do an extrude. We can extrude that on up however much we want. Let's say we want it to be 2 millimeters thick. We'll give it some draft angle, maybe, I don't know, 15 degrees, something pretty drastic, because I'd like to be able to see it kind of canted in there. Click OK. That looks decent. Let's go ahead and drop a little fillet right here in this corner. It's going to be a constant radius fillet of, I don't know, let's see if, well, 5 millimeters, how about 2? All right, let's do 4. Why is this breaking? I'm guessing that's because of the draft angle on our extrusion there. So live and learn. We'll go back. We'll just remove that draft angle for now. Then we'll add our fillet, and that's going to let us do it. There we go. So we could add like a 10 millimeter fillet, get whatever look we want, so that I'm happy with it. And then we could go through and add our draft if we want to, just for fun. So we'll just use a draft feature. For the neutral plane, we'll use the front plane. And faces to draft, we'll just click on one of these guys. And let's get that one and that one. We actually want all of these to be drafted all the way around. And to make sure the pulling direction looks right, looks like it's pulling the correct direction. That's what we want. Let's set this to 25 degrees, something pretty drastic. There we go. That looks pretty good. And then finally, let's just cut our sound hole in this. Do an extrude cut, and we can just use our sound hole sketch right in there. Flip the direction through all. Click OK. We got a sound hole. Matches up perfectly. Excellent. We can set this to a medium gloss plastic. Let's set this to a medium gloss white plastic. And then I'm going to come over here to our appearances and find our materials. And then edit this white plastic. And I just want it to be a different color. I think like a teal color would work nicely. Let's just kind of adjust that color to something that's a little bit more pleasing to my eye. I think I want little fillets on the end of this guy. So actually, let's go back here and before that draft angle, well, not before, let's see if we can just add it. I'll just add a couple of fillets, one here and one there. Looks like it's going to do it. That's good. Let's do 5 millimeters. That looks nice. All right, let's close this up. Alrighty, that's starting to look like our guitar there. That looks a lot like our sketch. And you know, from here on out, everything else is just details. We're going to be adding inlays and little doodads here and there. But that is all of our components. And you can see now why. Now that we've created all of this stuff, you see all of these parts. If we had done all of this in a single part, that would have been insane. We would have had 1,000,000 features in that one part. It would be impossible to control. And if we had done this from a bottom-up standpoint, where we build each of these components completely independently, then making changes would be just completely crazy. We've already made changes in the process of building this that would have been really difficult if we'd used a bottom-up strategy. So by using a top-down strategy and separating everything into individual components, using that master model as our common thread, this has been a much more streamlined process than it might otherwise have been. All right, so let's get into some details.